Yo, this is Juliano Argenti. Jesus. So, people are upset that, felt, you know, I guess neglected, last week when I was sick and didn't do, this type of video, to follow up my, predictions one. So, type of video I'm talking about is the second one that I've ever put out on my channel, which at the time I did the morning of UFC 307 to, I guess, to clarify, in case I hadn't made it clear, exactly how round robin parlays work, and how they effectively, as much as possible remove the house edge, meaning that the house edge basically refers to the fact that, like, if you bet, right, if you lose your bets, you lose everything you put down. In this sense, removing the house edge means basically you could lose the majority of your bets outside of a fundamental bet and still break even plus even profit. Therefore, so to speak, turn the odds against the house, or as much as possible, like I said. Once again, I don't encourage gambling, but my round robin parlays for this card. So I'm actually doing something kind of unorthodox as far as even like my method of betting on this card. When it comes to, I'm still round robining first, of course, but I'm doing 2 sets of round robins, which ups the risk a little bit for me, but at the same time, the bedrock one, the first fundamental one, if it hits, I still break even, right? And the secondary one, which is a little bit less, lock heavy, but I have confidence in it. It basically ups my projected total earnings, and that's before I go on to lay parlays, with every fight on the card, and then others, every fight in the card except maybe 1 or 2 different combinations, So anyway, so first and foremost, I am making a 4-leg parlay, okay, and selecting 3-way round robin, okay. I'm betting on Jean Matsumoto to beat Brad Katona. I am betting on Robelis to Spain to beat Austin Lane. Let me make sure that I don't fucking fuck this up. Sorry. Last time I did this video, I fucking, needed a second to fucking remember. Very unprofessional. And Kyler Phillips to beat Rob Font. So, once again, 4-leg parlay. Kyler Phillips to beat Rob Font. Michelle Pereira to beat Anthony Hernandez. Now, given that it turns out Pereira is an underdog, and that might seem risky, it might not seem like the lock that you'd want to put on a round robin. I beyond incapable of seeing Anthony Hernandez's path to victory. I mean, it's not really true, but Michelle Pereira would literally have to show up fucking half brain dead, like, for Pereira to be able to do any kind of fucking sneaky grappling at all. I mean, Pereira's jiu-jitsu arguably matches his, plus his power and fucking just constant barrage of attacks. I mean, that's as much a lock for me as, Despain versus Austin Lane. So, first, 4-leg parlay, round robin 3 ways, okay? Those 4 legs are Robelis Despain to beat Austin Lane, Michel Pereira to beat Anthony Hernandez, Kyler Phillips to beat Rob Font, and Jean Matsumoto to beat Brad Katana. Okay. So then, on top of that, okay, I'm making a 7-leg parlay, round robin 4 ways. Okay. Those 7 picks are the first 4 that I listed, with the addition of Jake Hadley to beat Cameron Smotherman, Charles Johnson to beat Samu Derji, however the fuck you say his name, and Asu Amabayev to beat Mateus Nicolau. And once again, that's those 3 fights plus the other 4. Okay, it's a 7-leg parlay. Okay, with this is my friend Brian. We're about to roll out, but it's a 7-leg parlay. Okay, 4-way round robin. All right, so basically that first parlay where it's a 4-leg parlay, 3-way round robin. Okay, that that I'm putting more money on because the payout is less, but the payout is still break even plus profit. Okay. So if I were to even lose the secondary round robin, I would still break even. All right. Secondary round robin is when I was looking at the card and the fact that, it's an 11-fight card, which, which does offset certain things, I figured that basically I could make 100 different parlays, a lot of them being double and triple down on, a whole card, and then a 10-leg leaving off the, Darren Elkins, Darren Elkins Pineda fight, and some of the girl fights, but, which I am doing, by the way. But first, another round robin, a more robust one, okay, which includes, 3 fights that, I won't go so far as to endorse as absolute locks, but damn near for, Charles Johnson, after the Joshua Van knockout, I don't see him just suddenly losing to this dude. Also, I do think the Uzbekistani fighters are just the new blood. And Nicolau's looked terrible. His last 2 fights, he's been fucking knocked out, including by Alex Perez most recently, who then went on to be bodied by fucking Tetsuro Taira. Alex Perez essentially, got that knockout on Nicolau and sandwiched between getting knocked out himself between Urseg and Tetsuro Taira. And then Jake Hadley with his new opponent, which I wish that was the original matchup. Jake Hadley, should have his way with Cameron Smotherman. If not, there's simply no excuse. Okay, so those 3 fights added onto the 4 actual locks, which are, and this is my opinion, obviously, I would call it a somewhat educated one. The original round robin, or first round robin, is a 4-way consisting of Robelis Despain beating Austin Lane, Michel Pereira beating Anthony Hernandez, John Matsumoto beating Brad Katona, and Kyler Phillips beating and, hopefully retiring Rob Font, or at least retiring him from the rankings. But that's what I'm doing. Okay, remember the 4-leg 3-way round robin goes first, then the 7-leg 4-way round robin, then parlays, whole card -1, whole card -3, 2, you'll now, straight bets, honestly. Now, I was talking to a friend of mine who said that basically, if you take the same amount of money that I'm putting out, right, and divided it by 11, okay, and just use my picks for each fight, right, same amount of money on each fighter, right, that he'd probably do better. Now, I mean, obviously that's absurd because, if you bet, let's say you bet $100 on a fighter who's a -500 favorite, right? You're walking away with profit. It's probably a safe bet, but, And then let's say, you have money on underdogs, right? Now, Michelle Pereira is an underdog, which I don't understand. I did not understand why Pena was an underdog against Raquel Pennington. It is what it is. But, the way I really don't, I genuinely do not look at betting lines until I've done my analysis, made my decisions. Obviously, once I go to lay my bets, you can't help but fucking see them because it's just, what fucking online casinos look like. But yeah, I've done this before, by the way, where I have a fundamental round robin and then another one. Usually it's one round robin, okay, and then successive parlays. This time, I think this card actually not only calls for this, but I think it's the way to move when it comes to betting on this card, because there are fights, Elkins versus Pineda, and the 2 female strawweight fights, and even Jocelyn Edwards, that really could go either way, even though I'm relatively confident in my picks for those fights. I'd rather have every other fight that I'm 100% on, or as close to as possible, locked in on a system of dividing up parlays where I'm basically guaranteed to not lose. Like I said the last time I did one of these videos, if you've been betting differently for a long time, and you're honest with yourself, right, your wins are significantly lower than your losses, give this a try. It's this is somewhat more, I could say sophisticated, but that sounds pretentious as fuck. This is somewhat more complicated version of what I laid out for UFC 307, which is the norm for me. But I'm not gonna pretend that I'm doing something I'm not, when it comes to this card. So hopefully what I just laid out was clear enough so that for those of you that actually do choose to listen, or at least give it a shot, there's a good chance that you will be at least not unhappy, meaning in the red, at the after the main event. There's nothing worse than looking at somebody who just lost a bunch of money after a dope UFC card. Makes you not want to hang out with them anymore. So, you know, just, you know, be careful. I don't encourage gambling. I mean, honestly, like, you know, it's like if you only have a certain amount of money and you're thinking about putting it on, you know, whoever or whatever method of betting for this card, probably don't do it. I mean, definitely don't do it. You know, figure it out. Take that money, you know, turn it into more another way. But for those of you that will gamble regardless, this is what I'm doing once again, and you know, good luck, and you know, this is actually a dope fight card. I mean, obviously 308 is gonna be fucking fire, but yeah, this is a good build up. So anyway, all right, I'm going out.